Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vandachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vandachari Yamunatira Vandachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vandachari Gaura Premanandi Haribol Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai. So, 4:30 tomorrow, we have to be ready to catch our transport. 4:30, you have to be ready. a.m. If you want to go with me to the historic chant, with the historic movement to bring Lord Krishna's temple back, and many other things. So today we will ask Sanatan. You pick the verse for today, the welcome verse for Sanatan to the parikrama. You pick the one of today. Srimad Bhagavatam message of the day ki jai. Madhava Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Okay, let's see what you got me here. The battle between the demigods and the demons. Oh my God. So we are in the middle of a battlefield. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Before Bali Maharaj arrows could reach him, Indra, king of heaven, who is expert in dealing with arrows, smiled and counteracted the arrows with arrows of another type known as Bala, which were extremely sharp. When Bali Maharaj saw the expert military activities of Indra, he could not restrain his anger. Thus he took up another weapon known as Shakti, which blazed like a great firebrand. But Indra cut that weapon to pieces while it was still in Bali's hand. Thereafter, one by one, Bali Maharaj used the lance, prasa, tomara, rishti, and other weapons, but whatever weapon he took up, Indra immediately cut them to pieces. Well, Indra was big false ego with Krishna, and he misused his power, but when it came to battle, it sounds like he's very capable, no? He's the king of the demigods, he's the king of Svarga. But look at this, he is in anxiety, he's suffering. Jai. My dear king, Bali Maharaj then disappeared and resorted to demoniac illusion. A giant mountain generated from illusion then appeared above the heads of the demigod soldiers. Wow. He could transform himself mystically into a mountain which appeared above the enemy soldiers. From the mountain fell trees, blazing in a forest fire, chips of stone with sharp edges like picks also fell and smashed the heads of the demigod soldiers. Wow, that's really a battle, no? It's more than Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood always produces these battle scenes, no? But not that style. Mountains created and everything falling on the head. Scorpions, like snakes, and many other poisonous animals, as well as lions, tigers, boars, and great elephants, all began falling upon the demigod soldiers, crushing everything. Wow! Wow, just imagine that scenery, that from that mountain which Bali Maharaj had created by his illusion, now snakes and scorpions, they were all coming all over the demigods. This is a scene never heard about, never seen. Like I say, no Hollywood movie has produced anything of that dimension. So we're reading the Bhagavatam, we are more entertained than watching stupid movies, which have nothing to offer except ego, ego, ego. O my king, many hundreds of male and female carnivorous demons, completely naked and carrying tridents in their hands, then appeared, crying the slogan, "Cut them to pieces, pierce them, eat them." Now the Rakshasas showed up, naked. Rakshasa with trident came from all sides, cut them to pieces, eat them. It's very nice to be surrounded by Rakshasa, no? Ui, how is it? How does it feel when somebody wants to eat you? Fierce clouds, harassed by strong winds, hurricanes, then appeared in the sky, rumbling very gravely with the sound of thunder. They began to shower live coals. Wow, live coals. I don't know what is live coal. Coal is what we use for burning, no? But live coals, I don't know what is that. A great devastating fire created by Bali Maharaj, began burning all the soldiers of the demigods. This fire, accompanied by blasting winds, seemed as terrible as the Samvartaka fire which appears at the time of dissolution. Well, this king, this Bali, he was very powerful. My God, that he could make such a show, such an amazing attack on the demigods. It's really interesting, no? What will happen next? Like when you hear some exciting story, you want to know, well, what will happen next? What will happen next? Thereafter, whirlpools and sea waves, like tsunamis, agitated by fierce blasts of wind, appeared everywhere before everyone's vision in a furious flood. Fire, water, air, everything, all the elements were 100% agitated. Right now it's happening everywhere. We had a huge earthquake in Japan just yesterday. We had devastating floods in the Philippines. We had destructive hurricane in Jamaica. Just going on every day around the world, it is happening. So this is what we are hearing here. It's not out of the blue. This is actually what happens when the fury comes down upon you. When the karma comes down upon you, wow, that's really something. Srimad Bhagavatam, all respect. A great devastating fire created by Bali Maharaj began harassing all the soldiers of the demigods. This fire, accompanied by blasting winds, seemed as terrible as the Samvartaka fire, which appears at the time of dissolution. While the magical atmosphere in the fight was being created by the invisible demons who were expert to such illusions, the soldiers of the demigods became morose. When hurricane comes, what can you do? You can't call the army. Huh? Hey, come shoot a rocket against the hurricane. When the nature comes and chastises us, we are hopeless. Only prayer is the last resort we can go. My Lord, save us and let us serve you. We are hopelessly lost, like an earthquake. When it really shakes and the roof over there, you can imagine an earthquake and these rocks on top of our head. Each one of these rocks weighs a ton, If it falls on you, you're finished. O king, when the demigods could find no way to counteract the activities of the demons, they wholeheartedly meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Creator of the universe, who then immediately appeared. Wow! Look at this. They were in such an anxiety, such a disaster, they could only say, Lord of Lords, Master of Masters, Beloved, we are finished if you don't come. And then he comes. Look. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes resemble the petals of a newly blossomed lotus, sat on the back of Garuda, spreading his lotus feet over Garuda's shoulders, dressed in yellow, decorated by the Kaustuba gem and the goddess of fortune, and wearing an invaluable helmet and earrings, the Supreme Lord, holding various weapons in his 8 hands, became visible to the demigods. Wow. Now the whole battle had fulfilled its purpose, no? They were real big battle, real horrible things happened. Then Krishna appears, so that's why Queen Kunti prays, let all these calamities come upon me again and again, because in that moment I'm seeing you, praying to you, that, I don't remember the exact words, but something like that. So she was praying for these calamities, just imagine. All the dangers of a dream cease when the dreamer awakens. The illusions created by the jugglery of the demons were vanquished by the transcendental prowess of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as soon as he entered the battlefield. Indeed, simply by remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from all dangers. Oh, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Oh my God, There were tsunamis coming. There was hurricanes over. There was incredible fire. Everything where there were man-eating demons, scorpions, tigers. Everybody was attacking us, and they were, my Lord, my Lord. And as soon as the Lord appeared, all the demoniac influences were just vanquished. What is the Srimad Bhagavatam trying to tell us? Do you get it? You better take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The hurricanes are real. The earthquakes are real. The wars are real. The demons are real. Everything is real, and we are in the middle of it right now. But have we taken shelter of the Supreme Lord? Have we made him the only goal and only thing of us, of our life? We have nothing more to do. We have no other shelter to take care of, to take shelter of. The answer is, hopefully, yes. But that's the conclusion of all this battle scene. Shelter of God. Take shelter of God. Take shelter of God. Take shelter of his holy name. Take shelter of his devotees. Take shelter of the Bhagavatam. Take shelter of Krishna consciousness. O king, when the demon Kalanemi, who was carried by a lion, saw that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, carried by Garuda, was on the battlefield, the demon immediately took his trident, whirled it, and discharged it at Garuda's head. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, the master of the 3 worlds, immediately caught the trident, and with the very same weapon, he killed the enemy Kalanemi, along with his carrier, the lion. That's karma, no? He attacked Garuda. The Supreme Lord caught the trident, killed Kalanemi, and killed his carrier, just to show. Don't mess with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And no good idea to mess with him. Huh? This is such a... The Bhagavatam is so beautiful. It's so descriptive, giving us really the hope and the vision that we should take shelter of Krishna. I mean, how more descriptive can you be? And how much we suffer. We are suffering. Sometimes we are suffering from envious family members. Imagine, Envious family members. Why should anybody in a family be envious? But it's happening. Sometimes the brothers are so envious of each other. They give trouble to each other. In this regard, Srimad Vacharya says, Kalanemi and all the other demons were killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. And when Shukracharya, the spiritual master, brought them back to life, they were again killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh my God, Shukracharya, he has this art of bringing people back to life after they were killed. This is another big story, which later the demigods, they wanted to learn that because Shukracharya was a great mystic and he had discovered that. But here the Supreme Personality killed them. Oh, you come back here and kill you again. So imagine, no? Imagine, twice killed by the Supreme Personality of God. They're lucky people, no? Pretty lucky. Thereafter, the very powerful demon named Mali and Sumali were killed by the Supreme Lord, who severed their heads with his disc. Then Malyavan, another demon, attacked the Lord. With his sharp club, the demon, who was roaring like a lion, attacked Garuda, the lord of the birds, who was born from eggs. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original person, and his disc to cut off the head of the enemy also. Thus ends Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 8th canto, 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Battle Between the Demigods and the Demons. Next chapter, chapter 11, King Indra annihilates the demons. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he always favors the devotees. That we can understand. But sometimes demons worship the Lord, so the Lord also has to give some blessing to them. Like in the case of Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj actually acted like a great devotee, but in the end, the Lord will always favor his devotees. So, battles. Where is the battle which is most close to us? It's the battle of our mind. Alisham. The battle of our mind. That is the most immediate battle. Maybe we have to defend our devotees at some point. I've been in several battles. One time in Germany, we just entered the temple of Hamburg, a new temple. And there were the Hells Angels. The Hells Angels, they were something like, in Germany, they're called rocker. They're not called Hells Angels. They're motorbikers, and they're like controlling. They sell drugs, and they do so many things. They're gang. Even the police is afraid of them. So they kind of control neighborhoods. So one devotee went to shop, and looking like a devotee, the Hells Angels were sitting in a bar, And one of them was making, hey, what is this crazy guy? Huh? And the devotee, he was a foreigner, he wasn't a German, so he didn't react or he didn't say anything or leave me alone. Huh? And then one of the rockers went after him and he saw that they entered into a house, which was the temple house. So then, I don't remember the exact details of the story, but all of a sudden 20 bikers showed up in front of the temple. And the 20 bikers, we were inside the temple, maybe 30, 40 devotees. It was Janmashtami festival, so we all had come from different sides. So these guys was, come out, we'll give you. They were like, terrible. And they had these chains, motorbike chains. They were beating, they were ready to smash the devotees. So the devotees were inside, the door was locked, and they were knocking at the door, come out, you Hare Krishnas. We're going to teach you a lesson. So I was inside. One of the devotees. And pretty scared, because I've never been in a battle before of that type. So then they took a stone and they threw it through the window. They broke the window and the stone fell on the tulasi. And the tulasi actually wasn't a tulasi, but we thought it was a tulasi. I mean, that's in the 1970s. We were just becoming devotees. We didn't know much, and we found a basil plant, which is family of tulasi, but it's not tulasi. But we were worshipping her as tulasi. So the stone fell on the plant, and a roar went through the devotees. A roar. They killed tulasi. They killed tulasi. So the devotees who were there, I mean, there was a narrow door like this to go out, and 40 people behind. So they killed tulasi, they killed tulasi. Some or other, one devotee opened the door. And the devotees, they had knives and pots and whatever they could get, because there were no weapons in the temple. But when they went out like Apaches. Maybe you've heard when the Apaches, when they attack, they go, ah! They make some very fearsome sounds. So without any training, without any having put ourselves, the devotees, and there was men, women, they were all coming, we were all mixed together, was like, and they went, and the rockers, they were standing there. I could not imagine this will happen. They thought, they're going to beat up a few men there or something. But the devotees, they went out like it was like a wave. I knew I wasn't in the front. I was a little behind, so I could see it. But the first rocker who was standing there, he just went to the ground because there were just like a wave rolling over him and beating him as he was coming down to the ground indiscriminately. He was like getting knocked. Then the second one went also down. The others, they ran away to their bikes and took off. And then the devotees called the police. And the one rocker, the first one they caught, he was smashed. So they had to call the ambulance, and the police came. And then We know if you challenge the Hell's Angels, a little group of Hare Krishna men and women challenging the Hell's Angels, they are going to get back on you. So the next day was fearsome. What will happen now? They will come, because they were in every neighborhood, they have these Hell's Angels gangs. They will come and get us. So that day there were negotiations, and the newspaper next day, Hare Krishnas beat to pulp the Hell's Angels. We went on Sankirtan that day, and people came up to us, oh, congratulations, take a donation. What you did. But we were scared. We said, now they're going to persecute us. We spoke to one of the priests. There was one priest in Hamburg who was specialized, kind of the Hell's Angel priest advisor. So negotiation was taking place through the priest. Matter of fact, the Hell's Angels never returned. But there's a second part to the story, which I will not tell you now, because it's not so important. But that was a battle. So I've seen battles. Don't mess with the devotees. Don't mess with the devotees when they get angry and defend the deity, or Tulasi in that case. Don't mess with them. They forget everything. They go into the battle and and there's no opposition. So a little bit when I was reading about this battle here, I was thinking about, yes. And there were other battles. In New Vrindavan, there were heavy battles. In Caracas, there were battles. A guy came with a machine gun and tried to kill devotees. He ended up killing nobody, and they drove him. Caracas was on a mountain. On a mountain there was, and then it went down like this, a cliff, like a precipicio. And then you got by the car on this side. So one devotee, they saw the guy with a machine gun in the garden of the temple, was just like, no? And somehow or other they came also after him. And it went so fast, the guy couldn't shoot. And he went over the precipicio. He went... So I've seen this moment, I wasn't in Caracas when that happened, but I've seen smaller battles. Krishna always protects the devotees. All kinds of battles. One time we had a battle in Brazil. In Brazil, one young lady, she had become a devotee. She was only 18 years old. She was a devotee from 17, Lata, Bhakti Lata, her name. And she became initiated later, Prabhupada disciple. So her father was the owner of a big restaurant. And he was so angry that his daughter was becoming Hare Krishna. In his restaurant, there was a general of the police who was always eating there. So he said, do something. These people, they kidnapped my daughter. They're all bad people. You have to go. The next morning, we were just in the morning chanting Hare Krishna, like we do here. All of a sudden, the temple was full of police, armed, machine guns. And then, come, all, everybody up, out. And we were there. I remember Hridayananda Goswami, the ISKCON guru, he was also there with us at that morning. And it's out. And everybody was put on a truck and taken to the police. I was also there. So we were there. Now, So there was no shooting and just a little beating to get everybody up the truck. So then we are in the truck and everybody, like the police, takes your fingerprints, your this and that. And then we were all in one cell. It was like these jails in South America, they're amazing, you know. They have like patios. They don't give you a cell, you're just out in the patio. But we had a cell, but the cell was not as big as this temple room, but it was quite large. And there we were, 40 devotees or so, man and woman all together. So we were looking at each other and said, what are we going to do? Let's chant. So we started a kirtan in the jail. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You can imagine how we were chanting in jail, because none of us had been in jail before. You know, it's a tremendous experience. You're arrested by the police, put in jail, iron bars, cling, and now you, what am I doing here? So we chanted, and the police said, shut up! Shut up! They screamed at us, we chanted even stronger. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And we went chanting and chanting. They said, if you don't shut up, you don't get anything to eat. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Who wants to eat that food of this stupid? So they couldn't. It came 11 o'clock. We were arrested like at 5 in the morning. By 11 o'clock, they got the order. Sent these people out. They're a disaster. They're just chanting. They're making this whole jail a mockery. I mean, we were lucky they could have come in and beat us, but they didn't. So we chanted ourselves out of jail. Isn't that a nice story? Isn't that the holy name appearing? And they couldn't deal with us. No. This Hare Krishna, they're terrible. They just chant. So the battles in this world, they're variety. Another time I was in jail in Switzerland. That was also a beautiful story. Manidhara and myself, two godbrothers, we were arrested both on Sankirtan. Manidhara was a lovely devotee from Czech, great book distributor. So we were in Switzerland, go out on Sankirtan, absolutely prohibited. Selling litigations in the street, prohibited. You need to have a special permit, which is impossible to get as a foreigner. We were not Swiss. So we used to go in, like, avoid the police and just sell. So this time they caught us. They caught us with, we had, most books were sold already, we had a lot of money with us, so they arrested us, and they threw us in jail in Winterthur. Winterthur is one city in the north of Switzerland. So we were in this jail, and they put us in solitary confinement. I was in one room, and Manidhara was in the next room. They were very small cells. They just had a bed and a toilet there, you know, and a little table. So, through the door, with the hole where they put the food to you, I was calling, hey, Manidhara. And Manidhara, he went, yes, I'm here. So we would communicate through that little hole. So I said, okay, it's time for Mangal Artik. So on the whole, we sang together. Samsara Davana Lalita Loka Tanaya Karunya Ganaganatyam Praptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanara. So we chanted, and after a while some other people screamed, hey, stop the noise, we want to sleep. Because it was Mangal Artik time, So, but we just kept chanting, That was our only communication, And then after whole full Mangal Artik, Tulsi worship, everything we chanted. The guards didn't interfere, they let us chant. So then, okay, we were like, it's pretty hard to chant on a little hole or something. So then, what to do? I found a pen. There was like like this normal pen with the pencil type. And I said, okay, I found a pen. So I started writing a message to the next prisoners. And I made everything. I painted an altar on the wall, Gornitai, and I said, offer your food here, be a vegetarian. I put a whole preaching. And when the wall was all full, I continued on the table writing. So we stayed there for 2.5 days, or maybe 3 days, I forget. So then we were called to the jail director, because we kept chanting the Artik, morning Artik, evening Artik. We became the scandal there. So then the jail director, he had us brought to his office. He said, what you're doing selling these books is very, very illegal. You cannot do that. I say, yeah, but what can we do? Our Gurudev told us we have to distribute this literature. It's very important for the world. Hey, it's not allowed in Switzerland. And so you don't come back here and don't do this here. Like this, he was giving us, scolding us. It was not big enough, the offense, to make a court case against us. We were just monks selling books of Prabhupada. So they didn't want to make a case. So they just said, because we were from Germany, we came from Germany, we had a car, They said, out of here and never come back. And just as we were on the way out from his office, he said, and who smeared on my wall with something? Who wrote on the table with this? Who did this? And I turned around. Me, I did that. How you dare to? I said, my Guru Deva told me I have to preach Krishna consciousness. You locked me up. What else could I do? I had to preach by writing. He said, oh no, get out of here, you guys. So we were released and went back to Germany. One border, deported. And then the next week on another border, we went back in and continued the Sankirtan. So in this way, sometimes, I don't know how often I went to jail for book distribution. Well, in Switzerland twice, in England 4 times, in Paraguay once, in Brazil once, like 10 times or so in my life, I had to go to jail for the preaching. And it was always a nice, You? One. Where? In Chile also. So, but every time we were saved by Krishna. So in that sense, I can relate to that story. It really looked bad, but in the end, Krishna somehow or other appeared and saved us and encouraged us to go on preaching. Because these dangers, all these dangers which are all around us, they come again and again and again. And those dangers take you to take shelter of Krishna. There's nothing else. Like in Colombia, we were preaching up and down against the narcos, against against all the criminals. We were preaching openly. One time in Mexico, that was very dangerous. 4 narcos, all black, dressed with weapons, came into the temple of Allende. And they had a magazine called Parikshit in their hands. And there was an article against the narcos in that. How the people are degraded, becoming all just going for drugs and so and so and so and so. So they came to arrest the person or the leader. So they came, says, who wrote this? Who published this? And they had this Parikshit magazine. And the devotees, they were like, wow, wow, wow. Because you know, in Mexico, the narcos, they take people, they just disappear. They just kill them somewhere. So then one devotee who actually published the Parikshit, that person, he was also there. He was very intelligent. So he went to them and said, no, it is a misunderstanding. Because in the same article, it also mentioned the pharma industry, who is intoxicating the world, is making people addicted to these drugs. He says, this is about the American pharma industry, who is contaminating all of South America. And the narcos went, huh? Oh, it's against the pharma. Oh, they said, then that's it's okay. And they just left. Huh? so he saved his neck by his ability. That was, what's his name? Dharma. Dharma was that. So, yes, devotees, they risk their skin. When you're preaching in South America, you're in the middle of paramilitaries, guerrillas. There's people of all kinds, left and right there. They're not people who are following any rules. When we go to our farm in Sierra Nevada, we have to pass by a paramilitary checkpoint, and they stop you. Who are you? Why you are here? What do you want to do here? And unless you get their approval, you cannot go on. And they're not official police, they are paramilitary groups. So devotees, they take these risks. They go and preach everywhere. The most amazing story I've also said many times is the one when Vrindavan Chandra, a German devotee, he was kidnapped by the underground guerrillas in the north of Colombia, between Barranquilla. He was going by bicycle full of books. He had a bicycle with a hanger, with a little thing behind the bicycle. And he was going to Cucuta. And on his way, he went through an area which was entirely red, they say. Red means it's controlled by guerrilla in that area. So the guerrilla, they saw this guy white with a bicycle. They said, no, this guy is a spy. He must be an American spy who's trying to check out our area. So they stopped him, took him, arrested him, and took him into the jungle, deep into the jungle, Vrindavan Chandra. So he was scared, what they're going to do to me. So they kept him there, but they didn't lock him up, they just had him captive. Then, at some point, they were all sleeping. So he went into the jungle and ran. In the jungle, ran, mountain after mountain, until he became very exhausted and very tired and very hungry. I don't know, all night he was gone. Finally, he found a little opening with a hut. He said, oh. So he went to the hut, he knocked. There was a family there or something. He said, please help me to get out of here. I was arrested and so and so. And they said, okay, now just lay down and rest for a moment because you're so exhausted. So he was exhausted, he laid down. And when he woke up, he looked out of something in the window, and there was a guy with a machine gun sitting in front of his door. Because it was an outpost, but everywhere is guerrilla there. Huh? They are all connected, so they already called it guerrilla. So then he woke up, they tied him, took him back into the jungle, but now he was tied like an animal, he couldn't move. They took him deep, deep in the jungle and tied him to a tree. There he was, Vrindavan Chandra, tied to a tree. So, what happened? He started talking to the guerrillas who were there. And he was preaching the Bhagavad Gita to them. Okanya, that was in Okanya, in the jungles of Okanya. And he started to tell them, yes, the Bhagavad Gita, and there was one guerrilla. Then the guerrilla called another one. Then another one. Then he was preaching to 3 guerrillas. And they were, yes, tell us more, tell us more. He said, but you have to give me the books. In my box, there's books. So they opened the box of his stuff, then they pulled out the Bhagavad Gitas. And then he was, look at page this, and then he was speaking about Bhagavad Gita. And he was still tied. And finally he said, can you not untie me? I'm telling you about Bhagavad Gita. I said, but you must promise not to run away again. He said, yeah, I will not run away, I will not run away. So they untied him, and he was sitting with 10, 12 guerrillas preaching to them with the books, and they were all listening to him because they were actually guarding him. He was a prime subject, no? Foreigner kidnapped from the street. While there was also guerrilla chiefs that were coming, they were asking him questions because he was the president of Barranquilla Mandir at that time. Him and his wife, they were running the restaurant in the temple in Barranquilla. Same temple Uddhava is running now. It was the same. So it's an old history. So they figured out, and finally they found out, well, actually he is living in Colombia as a wife. So they thought, maybe he's not a spy. Maybe he's really a Hare Krishna. So after 2 weeks of this, they said, okay, you can go again. Here's your bicycle, everything, but you can't take the books. We will stay with the books. So what a beautiful preaching story. No? What an adventure. I can never forget it. How by preaching he saved himself, and he also was able to give the guerrilla a real Krishna conscious experience. From a tied up to a tree to become the spiritual teacher of the guerrillas. Now he lives in Germany, Vrindavan Chandra. We talk sometimes. He took his son and wife to Germany. Anyhow, so you can see, Krishna consciousness is a battle. We are in a battle. And we have to be ready for the next battle. If we just wait for flowers to be showered upon us, you don't know. You don't know. And tomorrow, we are going for a kirtan battle. If you want to join me, we have to leave here at 4:30, go for 15 kilometers, because at 6 o'clock, that march of the Dhirendra Shastri is starting. And it is a march in favor of bringing real Sanatan Dharma back to India. and stop selling alcohol in the Holy Dham. They have a whole agenda of like some 12 points. One of them is that the temple of Krishna must go back to where it belongs, where he was born, and not having a mosque there, insulting the Hindu tradition. So that's one of the agendas of that, but it's a very big group of people, and they're marching from Delhi towards Vrindavan. Tomorrow, they're in the last 15 kilometers. So we are invited to join them. So it'll be pretty exciting. Some foreign Hindus, they'll be very surprised to see foreign Hindus chanting Harinam. But this is one of the chances to spread the Harinam in a most wonderful way and to glorify Srila Prabhupada. We should take a picture of Srila Prabhupada with us to chant his glories in there. Maybe we can take this one, also not so big. Or the one in my room we can take. That's best. So, have some garland for Prabhupada and chant. And so we can also take some extra garlands. If we garland the leader, then they will love us. Because the leader is very popular in India. When he calls, immediately 10,000 people come. I was in one of his events a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Amazing. And he is a Hanuman Bhakta. And he's a disciple of Rambhadra Acharya. You know, we met Rambhadra Acharya in Kumbh Mela. You remember Madhava? So he is a disciple of his. Anyhow, so if you want to go, I already checked. Anybody of you wants to go, make sure we are at 4:30 together. Who wants to go? Yes. We'll be back at noon. ¿Tú vas a tener un tour guiado? Bandiravan can go? Radha Govinda? Vishnu? You're coming? Okay, so we'll be 6, that's enough. With 6 people already, we make the foreign show. White elephants dancing for Sanatana Dharma, they're going to love it. That's the nature. Prabhupada gave us this. He gave us this great chance. Like, for example, when Indians, they meet a foreign devotees, they always want to invite them to their home. And they treat us with like, wow, like we are the VIP or something. So these things are going on, and more things are going on. We are having a big plan for Radha Kunda. I will not reveal the details yet, but actually I can. Within a few days, Vaidyanath is going to take sannyas. We are waiting for the date from Gopananda Bon Maharaj for his blessings. And Shaunaka going to be there, and he's going to get the Gayatri Mantra, because Shaunaka took Babaji, but in an informal way. So he wants to hear, yes, he wants to hear the mantra from Bon Maharaj also. So that's another enhancement of the beauty. So, and then we have a plan to make the Radhakundas, Goshala, into a vibrant preaching center, spreading Krishna consciousness in Radhakunda. Da, 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 da. So, I don't know what Krishna is planning. We never know. Mansarova, I never imagined he would say, I stay with you in India. I never asked him to. It is Krishna giving in his heart. So certain things we can't understand, but they're happening. And as they're happening, we are happy. As they're happening, we are happy along with it. See what is next. What is next on the agenda. So somebody is in charge. You're in charge of Prabhupada's picture to take along from my room. Because we should have a picture of Prabhupada, and we should have like 10 garlands. So if we get to the leader and we garland him and his main people, then that will be incredible. You want to go? Yes? Oh, he's the pujari, sorry. Sorry. And Vamanamaj left?
Yes.
He left yesterday?
He went something.
There he went, our Vamanamaj. He spoke to you?
He spoke to me yesterday, and he said that he wanted to join to Radhakunda, so for the Oshala. He told me. When I shared them, we were there. He told me, yeah, we would like to tattoo Gurudeva. I forgot to tell you.
Bueno. Any more questions on the battles against Maya? You want to tell your story, Julan? What happened to you? But then you have to come closer that it's also recorded. See? Or English? You speak good English. So what happened there?
I was in Chile, Santiago, with Colombian devotee, Gurvanuga.
Gurvanuga. Oh, from
Cali, from Cali.
Yeah, now he's in south of Chile.
Yes. We was distribution, books distribution, yes, and maybe the last book, because always when I selling everything, cakes or everything, prasada, books, I finish the last. No, I keep on. Okay, I go. No, my mind is the last. Okay, in the last book, I waiting. One people came, and I sold. And after this, one person like this. Immediately, in 1 second, I said it, like police. Chilean police is the very hard, Chilean police. And
Carabineros.
Carabineros. Like this. Oh my God! And okay, I bring us to the big truck and put inside. And Gurvanuga was a foreigner. I said, I go with you. Okay, but and all people, many people selling.
You were arrested?
Yes.
And Gurvanuga went with you to protect you?
Yes.
Oh.
Because in foreigners, nothing happened for foreigner people. And many people selling another things, Yes. Well, we was in the jail. Well, and put every people and we in the with names and many names, And Guru Banuga said, no, you are foreigner, you go. And he said, no, but Mataji is there. No, you go. And Guru Banuga went.
They kicked him out.
Yes. And stay with the many people inside the jail, put it in the jail, you know. And waiting, maybe all night. And after this, Guru Banuga went to the temple, Peñalolén, with Gurudev Atmananda, and say the president, oh, the Julian is in the jail. And the president, wow, running. And I was there chanting my japa, and everywhere, everyone is there. I'm chanting japa because many hours, 3-4 hours, I don't know. And after
You slept in the jail.
no, maybe 3 or 4 hours. Yes.
The devotees came so quick.
Yes.
Wow.
In car. And after told me Prayapriti Prabhu, he was asking why she is inside the jail because she's selling all a little books, Krishna books. Why is outside talking with someone? And after, okay, this girl just go out, and okay.
So you were released.
Yes.
Rajapriti got you released.
Yes.
Yes, it's in different countries, but in Russia it was not that easy. In Russia, the devotees were put in horrible circumstances. In Eastern Europe, also Eastern Germany, in Hungary, no, but especially Russia. So, pioneers, preachers, war against Maya. And what we were reading was the war against Maya. And then Krishna came himself with Garuda and chopped these people and these illusions to the end. So that's whatever happens there, whatever happens in your life, any danger, take shelter of Krishna, and that is the solution. Yes, Madhava Krishna.
I just want to share to glorify.
Come here so that it will be recorded. Come.
It is just very short.
But doesn't matter. It should be recorded because otherwise from there the microphone cannot catch it.
Like 2 years ago, I got some goods to sell in Germany, and I went into a market, and I was selling there, and Baidenat came to see me. I just had these hanger cloths, and in that hanger cloth I put another cloth over, and then some things to sell. And then the police came, and I was the first on the line. And the guy wanted to take everything from me and take me and everything and make the loan, the payment. And by then I was there and came to the police in a very humble way and said, no, he's just a monk, leave him alone. He's not doing anything wrong. He will go to the temple. He's living in the temple. Please be merciful, something. Then the guy said, okay, go. And then he went to the next one and they took everything from everyone. I was the only one who could run. And it was thanks to Vaidyanatha.
Very beautiful. Okay. Krishna protects his devotees, that's a fact. Venezuela. When there were people with a machine gun, that was in Muni Priya. Muni Priya, he saw this guy. What's this called? Belamonte? Chaguaramos? The temple where Prabhupada visited in Venezuela. What was it called? ¿Cómo se llamaba el templo donde Prabhupada visitó? El área. Encima, en Caracas, encima. Colina de Bellamonte, sí. That's where that was. Okay. Argentina? so many stories. Argentina story is a long, long story. Russian, Argentina, Hungary, Mexico. Okay, I think we are about to open the Takoji, and thank you very much for joining us again and again and again. Today was the subject, battles between the demons and the demigods. And the devotees of Krishna, they are like the devas. They are fighting for the cause of Krishna. Jai Sri Radhe.